days are cooler, nights are warmer, and I put the blame on you. Time moves slow, but my heart beats faster. When these eyes are looking right at you, you give me something to believe in, just what I needed. You're the closest.
And I want to hear from people today who are in this category. If you are an American Black person who feels a way about Black people that come here from other countries, I'm curious where you stand today in the wake of what's going on in Springfield, Ohio. 866-801-8255 is the number. Where do you stand? Do you identify with being with a Haitian right now? Do you identify, are Haitians foreigners to you? Are they illegals? Do you look at Haitians as the other? I'm curious because I'm old enough to remember when this happened before. It happened before in the 1980s. And I believe it was at the hands of Ronald Reagan. I believe it was in his Reagan administration. Yes, it was. It was where Haitian Americans were blamed for the spread of AIDS globally. And I was just thinking about, Wuhan, the Wuhan flu, like the desire to, and I'm not saying that Wuhan wasn't the origin place of COVID, but I'm going to say a whole lot of Americans helped spread it by not washing their hands, wearing masks, self-segregating in terms of in their own homes, sitting their asses down, letting all these different variants, and it's back now with a vengeance because, we don't believe boo-boo stinks. Apparently, watching CBS Sunday Morning, we are here again in a space where no one wants to get vaccinated. Everyone thinks it's a hoax. Because people are, in wheelbarrows, lined up in bodies and wheelbarrows and lining up in the hospitals. But like y'all just out here breathing on folk and got the COVID and don't care. But I want to get to this because I feel like we're in the spin cycle, in the wash. We're in the spin cycle where we keep coming back to the thing. Can we ever solve a thing and never go back to it? Can we fix a thing and maintain it so it doesn't break again? Can we ever get to a place where we can just be? And I feel like that's for Karen Hunter, this election is an opportunity to reset. Say, okay, all right. We got across the finish line. Now, what is it that we want to get accomplished? Okay, for me, I want police officers to be held accountable. I want them not to have immunity when they harm us. Safety is important in our community. We could talk about how we're going to talk later, how we keep each other safe. But what I don't want is for a police officer to step his foot into my door and then tell me he owns my house that I pay taxes on because my children were misbehaving and you feel like you have the authority, or reach your hand in my car that I pay a car payment on, whether I pay for it or not. I'm definitely paying insurance on this joker. Reaching your hand in my vehicle for a traffic stop and opening my door and pulling me out. What I don't want is unchecked authority, whether it's by police or the White House, the president. I don't want people to have immunity to do harmful things to other people's bodies and personages and have no accountability. I want accountability, number one. So I'm voting for that. I'm voting so that there is some semblance of law and order in this country. I'm also voting for opportunities, right? So I just saw, we're going to talk maybe about this today too, this notion of not having to, have a degree to work for the government. And I feel like, we have deluded ourselves into thinking somehow a 4-year degree or even a 2-year degree makes a person a better hire. What it does is, I always tell my students is just get out. You got a liberal arts degree. I promise you, nobody's ever going to ask you your GPA. Graduate. You're not a chemist. You're not a doctor. Law school is going to matter, but you got a liberal arts degree. Get out in 4 years. This is just get out. Like, stop with the changing of the majors. Nobody's going to ask you what your major was. I promise you. Just graduate. That's the conversation I have. It's like one of the first weeks. And I feel like, whether a person's valuable or not based on a degree, that some people, depending on the school, doesn't make you a better candidate. I like looking at that. I like the $25,000 down payment. Talking with Bruce Marks from NACA, maybe it can be in something else like closing costs, but that's something that we can have on the table to discuss. These are just plans, actual plans, not, figments of somebody's imagination. But there's something there. And then we can add, a look at the banking system, how no one was held accountability for the subprime debacle. Where are the guardrails there? Yes. Thank you, Elizabeth Warren. Let's keep that going. Right. And finally, clean air, clean water, healthcare, basic stuff, Social Security being protected. As I edge towards that, I want it. I poured a lot of money into it. I want it. I want my Social Security. I do. And I want to protect it. Education, we need to look at it. We need to maybe reimagine what education is in this country. I want my roads to be roading. And I want my bridges to not crumble in the tunnels as well. I think those are basic things. Can we all agree? Let's touch and agree. Yes. Okay. Now, who gives us the best chance to get that in this period of time? Somebody that actually can get some stuff done and not just go around fomenting hate. So I'm getting back to this Haitian thing because I'm old enough to remember when Haitians were the source. And I remember, if you're Haitian of a certain age and you were raised in the 80s and had to go to high school or junior high, what was your life like? 866-801-8255. I'm following, of course, our brother, Dr. Hervé Damas, who's off and on. Lurie Daniel Favors is on this show as well, time to time. He's been with us in many different ways. But yeah, no, there's the African booty scratcher and then the Haitian tropes around diseases like freaking AIDS, which is so crazy to demonize a whole group of people. But if you're Black in America, you should be able to relate to this. And if you are othering Haitians in this time, you're just really stupid. You're just a really stupid person. 866-801-8255. So let me hear from you. And if I'm being honest, from starving Africans because of the commercials that ran ad nauseum on television when I was growing up, my view of Africa was distended bellies, starving children with flies ice skating across their eyeballs. I never wanted to go to Africa. I thought everybody was naked because I watched freaking Abbott and Costello, because the media, because our motion pictures depicted Black Africans as something of a backwards nature. Today, Africa is one of the wealthiest. No, we're not just talking about cobalt and all of the minerals. We're talking about pure wealth. The wealthiest Black people in the world are in Nigeria. Okay, no one talks about it. And no one talks about the origin of the wealthiest person to ever live, Mansa Musa, African. No one talks about this continent being 5 times bigger than the way the cartographers depicted in our classroom maps when we were growing up. Is about the same size as South America. No, it's 5 times. China, America, all north and south, Russia, everything. Europe can fit inside of Africa's landmass, and every human being comes from there. But we've been conditioned to view even the Nigerian prince. When we think scam, we think Africa. When we should be looking here. We think scam. We should be looking right here. And I'm also going to ask this other question. When we think of mass shooters and assassinators, how many women come to mind? Can you name a woman that's assassinated or attempted to assassinate? I actually did some research, so I can name 3. But it's like 4%. of mass shootings are at the hands of women. What's wrong with y'all? Why aren't we profiling white men? If you were black living in New York City in the early aughts and late 90s in these United States, you were stopped and frisked because of the potential of your ability to commit crime. Not that you committed a crime, but you potentially could have committed a crime. Like the gentleman, and I'm gonna call him a gentleman, who absconded, or he beat a fare for $2.95 and got a whole bunch of people shot because the police don't have any control over themselves, and they everything is a hammer and a nail to them. The man clearly had some mental issues, and you open fire in a freaking subway and you shoot a pedestrian and another police officer. Yes, friendly fire. This is wild. I'm so sick that we're living in this kind of country, but we need to talk about it truthfully. So I want to talk about what happened on the golf course in Florida, but I don't really know enough. The shooter was in some videos. He was pro-Ukraine, but voted for Trump. Like, I don't know. Like, why was he there? How did he get Trump's schedule when nobody else could have it? By the way, this is the Secret Service. Oh, we don't know Trump's schedule because he doesn't really tell us where he's going to be. How'd the man know he was going to be there? Did you know? Was it posted somewhere? I got questions. And I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm saying that I don't believe what I'm reading. This golf match was not even on Trump's schedule. So how did Ralph get the damn schedule? Is that a basic question? Where are the journalists? Everybody out there trying to get a book deal, trying to get on TV where the money is. Ain't nobody doing any investigative reporting. And I was not an investigative reporter, but I know the questions that need to be asked, okay? I never did. That's hard work. Investigative reporting is hard work, let me tell you, and it's long work. It's long work, and it's a teamwork, too. We had a whole bank of like 4 or 5 reporters, and each of them had a particular job to chase down a lead. That's some work right there. No one's doing it. They put some bull crap out. Social media grabs it, add some stink to it, some other fake stuff, throw it back out. Like now the man went from just being in a video to being in a BlackRock video. There's no corroboration that BlackRock did a video with this man. Yes, there is a video of him pro-Ukraine saying he was going to go over, and I'm talking about the man that allegedly actually didn't shoot, had a gun. We don't know what he was there to do, and we may never know. I'm so frustrated that I can't report on these airwaves the truth because I don't know what it is. But I do know that there's a whole lot of hatred and a whole lot of people spreading bad information and putting a whole lot of people in angst and put their lives in jeopardy. Another bomb threat in Ohio. Another bomb threat. Now, walk me through, again, if there's some logical people out there who can help me understand, all right, so Haitians, I was told by the former president of the United States, that Haitian illegals are eating people's pets. Okay, so now I'm going to randomly threaten to bomb establishments that may or may not be Haitian, but even if they are Haitian, they're not the source. These aren't the illegal people. So what do you gain? I'm just trying to understand, like, okay, we're going to just try to bomb these places because we're mad that people's pets are being eaten, even though there's not one instance of this actually happening. In fact, let me give you some information that you may not have. The original cat story, the cat dog story, Erica Lee, lady named Erica Lee, Erica with a K, Lee 35, she acknowledged that she learned about the rumor of Haitian immigrants or migrants allegedly eating cats in her community from her neighbor, Kimberly Newton. She snitched. Kimberly told me that they were eating, and then Kimberly said she heard it from a friend of a supposed cat owner. So let's take the road here. So Erica Lee was the one that really pushed it out, but she found out this cat dog thing from her neighbor, Kimberly Newton, who heard it from a friend who heard it from somebody that supposedly owned a cat, and the cat's gone. Since then, Lee has publicly apologized to various news outlets because she spread this, stating that she did not anticipate the extent of hate. And ma'am, what did you expect would happen when you demonize an entire group of people and then leveled a lie that you could not possibly corroborate? So let me just pause here. Anybody who's listening who spread something that you did not fact check before you spread it, you're part of the problem. And we've all done it. So I've done it. But we have to be more vigilant when somebody sends us something that, especially when it sounds so outrageous.